He said, "Is that the face you'd make if I ran off with your shoes at a con?" She said, "LMAO, something like that." He said, "Ha ha ha, what would you even do?"
And the only reason why you're allowing yourself to say, oh, maybe she actually likes it because she didn't like tell me a hard no, you're basically relying on the fact that this person is probably just trusting the established boundaries.
Okay, so if that's the case, that means that what it is that the person is doing so far in this compliment is not past the boundaries. They believe that so far, if we're agreeing that they're reciprocating, but they're reciprocating under the guise of the current boundaries, then that's fine. Once it goes past those boundaries and they think this is outside of the bounds of what it is that they agreed on, now we're gonna have a different conversation. This is Chuggaaconroy. Does anybody know? Am I saying that right? It's got 1.27 million subscribers. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of subscribers. I don't know. His name is Chuggaaconroy.
That's right. This world is widely inhabited by mysterious creatures called Pokemon.
Okay, so I guess it's a Pokemon channel. They talk about Pokemon stuff. Looks like Pokemon stuff. This is Lady Emily with 140,000 subscribers. What is this?
Fired for being too good. Not in this show, at least, but perhaps more notably is the erasure of Puck from the Black Swordsman arc. And that's not all, but other characters, generally the supernatural ones, get adapted out entirely. Some of this is in my the battle scenes in this are more impressive than they were in the 97 anime, where they were basically nothing, but
okay, I guess they cover anime. Okay, so that's the two, that's our two characters going in. So starting out, Lady Emily posted on Twitter on January 16th with 5 million views. Scrolling through Reddit and seeing dozens of comments calling the popular YouTuber who sexually harassed you for several months last year a wholesome bean with only green flags, upside down smiley face. Sweardo said, "I would assume they are unaware of the situation. Like, there are literally people who still don't know J.K. Rowling is a TERF. I had to explain it to my mom." Oh my goodness, I can't believe they don't know J.K. Rowling's a TERF. What? How can you not know? Oh my goodness, it's like, it's what everybody knows about J.K. Rowling. It's the thing she's most famous for. What? So then she quote tweeted it and said, "Fuck it, just to get it off my chest, last year, Chuggaaconroy kept trying to get me to initiate erotic foot fetish roleplay with him, while he also had a girlfriend. This included sending shoes to my house under the guise of a gift, only to constantly ask for feet pics afterwards." Woo. Oh snap. Oh snippity snap. Oh man. I thought she was going to say he only sent shoes to my house just for me to wear them and send them back so he could smell them. That's what I thought. I thought that that's where that was going to go, but it was just he sent them so he could ask for feet pics. That's fine. Okay. Eventually, I started ignoring him because I wasn't sure how to navigate around him clearly trying to rope me into fetish shit, and in return, his messages to me got more frequent and aggressive. Chuggaaconroy says, "And beautiful. So originally, So I originally planned to go back with a floral pattern, but they lacked it in your size, so I went with that I thought was most likely to go with any clothes. Or sorry, I went with what I thought was most likely to go with any clothes. She said, ooh, honestly, I gotta make this shit smaller. I can't. Damn it. Ooh, honestly, great call because I love black high tops, but haven't had any in years and years. Chuggaaconroy said, ha ha ha, it's my personal favorite shoe. She said, it's a great shoe. Goes with everything. He said, do I get to see you in them? Then he said, ha ha ha, thank you. Trying to get a lot done. I want to finish the series, or at least get close so I can travel to Scotland to see my significant other soon. She said, oh cool. I didn't realize she was in Scotland. He said, yeah, pretty far, but we're thinking of immigration next year. Would you like to pick up where we left off last night? Ha ha ha, it dropped off suddenly. You tend to disappear. And then 2 hours later, he says, oh, I'm gonna ping you once more. And then 4 hours later, said, well, hello. Oh, wait, no. This is the next day. Okay. So over 24 hours later. Well, hello. Have a nice doctor's visit. Sorry to ping again. I just wanted to know. Damn, you're no fun. Kidding, kidding. Just a little concerned. The next day. Sorry, that was rude of me. I shouldn't say stuff like that, even jokingly. You have your own stuff going on as much as I do. Hey, sorry, am I bugging you too much? I'm just getting done with work and saw I hadn't heard back. Yeah, right. Just getting done and saw you hadn't heard back. He probably checked it like 50 times that day. He probably checked it like 1,000,000 times that day. The next day, so we started this on 9/16. Now we're on 9/19. Hey, yo. How's today? Feeling any better? Now we're on 9/22. Hi, sorry if I'm bugging you. I understand you've got your own stuff going on too. I just wanted to wish you well tonight after seeing you talking about how much being sick set you back. I really enjoyed talking to you more through it. I'll leave you be after this message in case you need rest. So yeah, we started on, well, so the first one was on 6/11. The last time she replied was on 9/16. And the last message he sent was on 9/22 here. Then on 10/26, I missed you. 10/27, are you doing better? 10/28, blah. October 30th, Blargan. November 1st, hey, hope I'm not piling it on. I just saw you were on. November 6th, hello. So, okay. If this is all that happened, is he just said, do I get to see you in them? And then later said, would you like to pick up where we left off last night? Ha ha ha. It dropped off suddenly. I do think it's weird that she just stops talking to him. It's a little odd that instead of her being like, no thanks, not gonna send you a picture of my shoes. Also, I don't think there's like anything obvious so far, maybe later on, but so far I don't think there's anything obvious about her sending him like a picture of her in the shoes that he bought her. I don't think anybody would like I buy somebody shoes and like, hey, can I see a picture of you in the shoes? I don't think that's them automatically thinking I have a foot fetish. But like at this point, when you're not getting any responses, kind of weird to continue sending messages. So we have a little bit of like awkwardness from both sides where one person isn't communicating. They think this guy has a foot fetish. They think that he bought her shoes, but she's refusing to like show a whole lot of like gratitude or like respond, show any reciprocation. So we got two very weird, awkward people here right now that are acting oddly. Tom, that is weird. I don't think so. I don't think that's weird at all. Actually, I think that if you know somebody, you're sending them money, you know their address somehow, you're able to send them shoes, and then you just ask to see them in the shoes, that's not fucking weird. And especially like depending on the shoes, it like they're fucking shoes. So I don't know that that's a foot fetish when we're talking about shoes being on your feet being covered up. So it's weird of him to continue messaging her, but it's weird of her. If I send a bra, is it weird to ask? Yes, it's also weird for you to send a bra. It's not weird for you to send shoes, and it's not weird to ask. Most people don't have a fucking foot fetish, so that's not a by far the majority of the time, it's not a weird sexual thing to just send somebody shoes and then say, hey, can I see you in them? Like, that's not a weird thing. That guy decided to do it, so why does she owe him a photo? He can just stop sending messages. Yes, we're talking about different things right now. Okay? Different things. That's why I separated them all out for you guys. But I'm not going to repeat myself because then people will get upset. So I'm just telling you the different aspects of what is weird about this from each person. So then she said, as far as I know, I'm not the only nor the first person he's done this to. He would try to assure me everything is fine while also clearly trying to initiate fetish italicized texts. Okay, so this is on 9/9. Okay, so I guess this is leading up to what happened. So now we're getting context from before all of this, but she showed us where everything dropped off. So now we're getting messages from before that. So 9/9, she said, that's what I thought too. LOL. Was like, I could fix this, but it's funnier if it's flawed. At times I do miss the versatility of the old avatar. It was fun to mess with. He said, is that the face you'd make if I ran off with your shoes at a con? She said, LMAO, something like that. He said, ha ha ha, what would you even do? Bro, I can just imagine this guy just like sitting there thinking this is fucking Riz. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. This is good. Then he said, let's see, so that was from 9/9, but then it just cuts off. So I'm a little upset that this cuts off here and then goes straight to 9/13, because I want to know what kind of like messages she's sending back. If it sounds like reciprocation, if he's getting ideas here that because of what she's like, what kind of messages she's giving off. I don't like that this is cut off here. This is a pretty big warning sign for me right now, but again, we'll see later on. Just this is kind of weird if we're getting into the messages from early on, and there's reciprocation, yet it just cuts off to hide the reciprocation. Yeah, I got a problem with this. So on 9/13, he said, yeah, being forward with you because I'd rather not keep anything from you and let you make the best decision for you. I am into that, but only with my significant other. I just also like talking about shoes with people because it's also an interest. I talked with my SO, significant other, about this when we started dating, and she told me I can talk about shoes with other people because it isn't sexual with my friends. It's just something I enjoy talking about with my friends too. I know that might be a lot to share, and I'm sorry if it is, but I feel it's best just to be open with people and consider what I'd like to know if I was in their position. So again, we don't get a response to this. This is 9/13 at 11:25. And then at 11:51 p.m., he said, good, glad we understand each other, walks up behind you and trips you with some fancy footwork. You thud to the ground, and I yank your sneakers off in an instant. Ha ha ha, loser. Chucks them at you. For somebody with a foot fetish, is this like ripping a girl's panties off who's wearing a skirt? She's not responding? Well, no, it looks like she responded. Again, she's not showing us the response because he's saying, good, glad we understand each other. So again, we're getting some like, yeah, it's cool, no problem, or something like that, and she's cutting it out. It is obvious that she is cutting the shit out and just not showing us what she said back. So, strike number 2. How would she respond to that? Yeah, I don't mind talking to you about shoes. I like shoes too. No, it's not weird for me. I don't mind at all. Those are when this is how he responds, I think it's pretty safe for us to assume that's how she responded. Pretty safe assumption. Then she said, it had started with him attending my Pokemon. Well, actually, hold on. Did anybody like comment about how there's shit missing here? Okay, no. It's just people talking about how weird his riz is. Okay. She said it started with him attending my Pokemon Black streams last December and chatting. We started talking in DMs because he seemed chill. Then on June 4th, I uploaded a selfie and he zoomed into my shoes in the background and messaged me about them. Oh boy. Last selfie on repeat. There's one song I'm ashamed to have in here, and it's probably not the one you're thinking of. He said, nice sneakers. She said, LOL, thank you. I need new ones, to be honest. My everyday pair is starting to see some damage, LOL. He said, seems sadly typical due to the thin fabric. She said, yeah, the curse of liking shoes that aren't durable. Got them on sale got them on sale though for $20. Can't complain. Hope you've been doing well. He said, hey, thank you. I just finished editing a video that was nuts to make. It covers this mall you can develop in Pokemon. Then he said, so what was the last message? 6/4, 8:47. Then we skipped to 9:39. He said, so like, do you have a P.O. box? She said, not at the moment, no. He said, oh, well, I was going to see if I could partake in birthday niceness. Now we're skipping from 9:43 to 10:15, and we have a bottom of a message that we don't know who that one's from. These messages are pretty like back and forth. We got 8:44, 8:45, 8:45, 8:45, 8:47. Then we cut to 9:39, 9:42, 9:43. So like it seems like everything is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then like a big chunk just missing, and we cut to like 30 minutes later. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Cut to 30 minutes later. If the cut was within a screenshot, that would make sense. But when it goes from back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then all of a sudden the cut from like the big time jump comes from one screenshot to the next, we're missing a lot of shit. Like, we're definitely missing a lot of shit here. He sounds like a lot of guys who slide into DMs and sneak their way into more intimate talk. I'm not sure if his fetish makes him much different from other guys who push their way in. So yeah, we got the bottom of a message here that I don't know who it's from, where she says, I think it's her. I don't know how many I have. LOL, I have enough for a full stamina bar and 11 hearts. He said, you can see it on the loading screen. She said, according to this, I've done 54. He said, good work. If I may be so bold, sneaker size. She said, ooh, generally around blank, give or take a little, but that's usually what works most often. Okay, so he asked if he could engage in birthday niceness. She said yes. He's obviously telling her he's sending her shoes. She's giving him the shoe size. So, again, we've got a lot of reciprocation here in just a little bit that we're seeing. And in the other parts where we would expect reciprocation, we can infer the reciprocation. He said, nice. She said, yeah. He said, okay, well, I'll figure something out. Not sure if you have any dislikes for me to be aware of. Then she said, convos would often derail suddenly. One moment we'd just be talking about Nintendo games, and then it would shift immediately to feet talk. He was very persistent in commenting on how big my feet are. I try to respond with blunt jokes to make the vibes less creepy out of nerves. He's being dishonest? Well, again, we don't know that. We're missing a lot of context here, Samsonov. Like, we have no fucking idea what it is that she's saying in these gaps. But we are getting some, like, reciprocation where it seems like now he is, like, trying to move the bar and move the boundaries a little bit more and more. And it seems like he's getting reciprocation. Did she just want free shoes? Yeah, like, that's what it seems like. Is she was like, maybe I don't like the foot fetish stuff, but I would love some free shoes. You think his motivation had nothing to do with his foot fetish to begin with? Surely. No, wait, I didn't say that. I'm saying that if she thinks all of this is like about a foot fetish, and she's reciprocating in this way and encouraging him in this way, then I'm just keeping track of what's happening as we're going through, and I think you're jumping to a conclusion based on what it is we've already seen, because she gave us her conclusion at the beginning and then gave us the evidence afterwards. And I'm pointing out that, like, well, if we start with the evidence and go through it in a chronological order, so far she's leaving shit out. And it looks like he is pushing a foot fetish and she is reciprocating over and over and over. And then eventually she just ghosts him. That's what we have so far. Okay, well, I'll figure something out. Not sure if you have any dislikes for me to be aware of. She said, I'm sure whatever you get me, I'll like. He said, haha, how nice of you. She said, ha ha ha, of course. The next day on 6/5, he said, so like, so now she's showing us like full evidence, right? Now that the beginning parts where we're looking to see if she's showing reciprocation, she cuts those parts out. But now she's showing us a video that goes through literally everything. Now that he's sending the shoes, and now that we know that she's going to pretty soon just ghost him. He said, so like, what are you feeling about Zelda? She said, I'm personally really loving it. I think I like it better than Breath of the Wild. He said, sent you some stuff today. I had, oh shit. Sent you some stuff today. I had a plan. I couldn't do because your feet were too darn big, so I went with a different idea. She said, ooh, I'm excited to see what it is. She said, thank you so much. He said, wow, you took what I said surprisingly well. She said, LMAO, I know my feet are big. It's a thing. I am curious what plan A was. He said, ha ha ha, really? It's a thing you joke about? She said, ha ha, I mean, it's not something I advertise, but it's just kind of a fact of life. He said, ha ha ha. That's a fair stance on the issue. I'm lucky I'm a 12, one size bigger, and no shoe stores would carry my size. She said, yeah, that's lucky. I'm lucky that HRT made my size shrink, which is very, very rare. Okay, so it's a trans woman. So so it's a trans woman. So the comments about feet now are a little bit, the comments about her having big feet are kind of, it's kind of a gendered comment, so it's now a little bit different. Okay, so just pointing that out real quick. We got some HRT in here. All right. So yeah, she said, I'm lucky that HRT made my size shrink, which is very, very rare. He said, oh wow, I guess there's something in the chemicals that position the tendons and men get them spaced further. She said, yeah, something like that, I guess. I also lost 50 pounds, so maybe that had something to do with it. He said, nah, you were just more comfortable at home in this body. She said, that's true too. Okay. Then, let's see, this is 6/4 still. He said, okay, we'll figure something out. Not sure if you have any dislikes for me. Oh, wait, we already read all of this. Oh, it just seems like actually Twitter's messing up. These are different videos. Okay, here we go. He said, yeah, I didn't like it as much as one personally. It's good, really good. But yeah, I guess your end of the bargain. You'd barely have to play the game further to see how it ends. And you can always ask me questions if you're having trouble. She said, oh, I mean, I looked up the ending on YouTube, LOL, just because, like, he said, oh, I guess it's not necessary for you to do that then. She said, I was underleveled for the final boss and couldn't beat it or go grind without starting from a save file many hours beforehand, but one day I'll go through and like play it properly with the knowledge I know now. He said, could take your bonus EXP if you haven't done that. She said, I was in the process of moving when I played one So I was rushing and stressed. He said the final boss is level 82 and then 83 in phase 2. The game doesn't tell you his level. She said, yeah, I remember being like level 71. LOL. He said, oh, that can definitely color your perspective of a game. I dislike games initially due to poor life quality at the time. Damn, that's the most underleveled I've ever heard. I think even speedruns are 73. She said, yeah, I'm incredibly talented at doing something wrong here in Wiki. As a kid, I used to do no ability, no times, no magic, and starter weapon runs of Kingdom Hearts because I had no idea how that stuff worked. He said, same. I can't tell you how many games I played wrong all the way through. She said, and I would just brute force my way through even though it was hard as hell. He said, that is some dedication to spending 0 time menuing. But if you're not into it, I'd rather not waste your time. She said, I might be into it. I just have to give it a chance again, especially once I figure out the combat a lot more. And also, now that I do call myself a fan of the franchise, having put so much time into it. He said, well, if you have any questions, I'm here. She said, thank you. He said, okay, I'm going to miss your shoes. It was kind of nice being their caretaker again. Looks at them in my hands. Okay, so I just want to point out, again, little weird that the context that we needed was cut out. Yet she gives us a whole lot of them just talking about video games. A whole lot of totally irrelevant information where they're just sitting talking about video games, but where he's being pretty explicit and we're looking to see if she's reciprocating, she cuts that out. So this just becomes a bit more curious, the way that she's doing this. But yeah, he said, okay, I'm going to miss your shoes. It was kind of nice being their caretaker again. Looks at them in my hands. As hard as it was at times, they stunk horribly. She said, oh yeah, sorry about that. It is what it is. He said, man, big and stinky. You've got it all. So yeah, this is getting a little odd in the way that this is being done, but still open to there being some smoking gun here. So she said, and for those asking how I know it was his actual Discord and not an impersonator I was talking to, beyond the fact that I ran it by mutuals of ours to make sure it was valid, here's our first connection over Twitter leading up to things on Discord. Yeah, that's why at the beginning of all of these messages, she's showing like stuff like this, is because she's showing that it's like his real Discord handle. It's actually him that she's scrolling through, not somebody else. Okay. So this was on Twitter on December 30th, 2022. So this is now from a year earlier. He said, that is nuts. As someone who worked with a lot of conventions, everyone kind of always knew Vic was weird. Okay, I don't think we actually need to read any of this. Yeah, she is like talking to him a lot in this. So it's not as though he just sent her a message out of nowhere. Hey, you like video games? I like feet. So it's not, it wasn't like totally out of nowhere. He took his time. He got to know her a bit first. And then, yeah, he asked her at the end, do you want my Discord? And she sent her Discord handle. Wait, is that the end of it? That's it? And he responded now and basically said, yep, it happened. Won't do it again. Sorry, he's a creep. Thank you for letting us know. Oh my goodness, dude. Okay. So, here's my conclusion, okay? She should have told him she didn't want to talk to him anymore. I don't think he was like overly aggressive. I don't think he was being too forward. I don't think he I don't think it's okay to call him a creep or anything, but I also think that he should not have sent her that many messages when she ghosted him. I think it's hard when somebody ghosts you and you don't get any explanation, you don't get a reason, you don't get anything. They just stop talking to you. I think that's a little... I think I empathize with him, but you shouldn't send that many unanswered messages in a row. So as far as the unanswered messages go, not a good idea, comes off bad, but I'm not willing to call this guy a creep. I am not willing to say that he sexually harassed her, and I think that this is all a bit fucked up. But, you know, me, the victim blamer, that's what I do. Tomfoolery show, you saw there's more in Bat Phone, yes? Oh yeah, sorry. Okay. We got more. Okay. So Chuggaaconroy said, hey, I want to say I'm sorry to Emily and to you, our community. I apologize for my mistake of overstepping the boundaries of our friendship and causing her to hurt in the process. This will not happen again. I'd rather have time to collect my thoughts than react immediately and ask that you not contact my friends about this. I will talk more about this in a few days. Vito said, it's cool, man. Rather than directly tell you she was uncomfortable, she refused to step up and set boundaries. You should learn to take a hint, but you never violated her consent. Yeah, this is... There you go. There you go. Vito, my man, with another W. She didn't set up boundaries. She did not ever say this is a problem. She never sent any signals whatsoever that she was uncomfortable. She never set up anything saying that she didn't like what was happening. And she over and over cuts out context where it looks like she's obviously reciprocating, because his response after asking if this is okay is, I'm like, you know, oh, great, awesome, thanks. Like, what was that response? What was her response? It's just gone. So all we have to do is to assume that she was saying, yes, I'm okay with this. Is JSTLK's stream affecting your views? Not from what I could tell. Since he started streaming, my viewers have gone way up. So if it's affecting it in a good way. Yeah, and she got free shoes out of this. She said, read the apology. While I'm not sure if I fully accept, I do wish you the best in growing from this. I find the framing of this as a simple mistake concerning. So far, I've talked to half a dozen women who have shared similar stories. I hope your future apology acknowledges that. That this isn't just an isolated incident with me, but a pattern of behavior with several women over the course of the past decade. I hope you're willing to own up to the fact that and re-examine the ways you interact with your fans, with your peers, and women in general going forward. I mean, as much as I would like to quote tweet this and jump in the victim blaming game again, I'm gonna take a week off. So I'll finish this segment with this. How dare you, men, talk to women? Disgusting. Don't talk to women. Women don't like men. What is wrong with you? You should always just assume all women fucking hate you. You're a bunch of fucking slobs, and this is disgusting, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And I will not put up with this any longer. Hashtag ew men. There we go. That's what we're going with. So he really does have a foot fetish then? Was hoping for special interest? Yeah, it sounds like he definitely has a foot fetish. But he admits to that at the beginning, where he's kind of saying, hey, I have a partner. I have a foot fetish. I was into, but I only do foot fetish stuff with my partner. Outside of that, I really like shoes. And I like to talk to other people about shoes. So if you're okay with it, I would like to have conversations with you about shoes. And she said, yes, that's fine. Seemingly, she cut it out. She cut her response out. But we know that after he says that, and then we have cut out, then the next thing is, oh, great, thanks. I just like to be upfront about what it is that's going on. If I was in your position, I would want to know this as well. And so I just want to be forward and let you know, hope I didn't make you uncomfortable. So that, like, I feel like he was very, like, straightforward about this shit to an extent, but then also starts to, like, push the boundaries more and more afterwards. So this is like, if I contact a girl and I'm like, hey, I want to talk to you about video games. I have a girlfriend, you know, but it's different. But this is explaining the boundary part. I have a girlfriend, but I want to talk to you about video games. And she's like, okay, cool. But then eventually I'm like, hey, this character's kind of hot. She reminds me of you. And, like, kind of just saying shit like that as we're talking, and she's responding with, well, thanks. I don't see it, but ha ha ha, flattering, or something like that, right? Like, I'm getting, like, some reciprocation there where I'm getting encouragement to keep going. Even though earlier I stated, like, hey, I got a girlfriend. This is just a platonic thing. I'm not into any of this, you know, man-woman stuff here. Not for me. But then later, I'm obviously starting to push the boundaries a little bit more and more. That's not reciprocation. Jesus, Tom. Wait, yes, it is. That is, like, that's literally what reciprocation is if I say something and you are accepting of the thing that I'm saying, that is reciprocation. That's, yes. You don't have to do the same thing back in order for it to be reciprocation. But if you are gladly accepting of what it is that I'm giving you, yes, that is reciprocation. Not in a situation where you have established boundaries. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I just gave an example where I say, like, hey, I have a girlfriend. This is something platonic. If you're saying me saying this is something platonic is the established boundaries, but then when I'm saying that chick's hot, she looks just like you, and then you say, ha ha ha, flattering, then, like, yes, that is reciprocation. Do you want to quickly knock this out? I'll quickly knock you out. Feels like generally men and women understand boundaries very differently. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I think that's true. If we're talking about, like, women being the aggressors, yes. I think that women are, like, much more comfortable being the aggressors and being aggressive because there's not this, like, massive stigma on women being aggressive. And so men being aggressive is massively stigmatized and is, like, a thing that we're all, like, tiptoeing around as we do things, trying to make sure that we're not crossing lines and then getting Me Too'd like this. I think that those types of boundaries, yes, women are much more comfortable being hyper aggressive and doing things that men can't do. So in that sense, yeah. Tomfoolery Show, learn how to interpret women correctly. Ha 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 is clearly nervous laughter by women being pressured into something she is not comfortable with. Yeah, that's generally not the case. Ha 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 is like flirty laughter as well. So